Security companies asking for permission to issue guards with high-powered weapons. This is Undiluted News. Mikey Bones reporting. Now, in the wake of a string of recent attacks on security guards delivering cash, security companies have asked the relevant authorities to grant permission for guards to carry high-powered weapons. Lieutenant Commander George Overton, president of the Jamaica Society for Industrial Security, said that security stakeholders are awaiting the government's decision on that matter. Investigations continued following Saturday's gun attack on a beryllium security company armored vehicle in Albion in St. Thomas during an attempted robbery. The police have since detained several persons of interest in connection with that incident. One of beryllium guard was wounded when armed thugs carrying high-powered weapons attacked the guards who were delivering cash at an ATM and a Western Union outlet. The guard sustained non-life-threatening injuries after the bullet struck his vest, and this is the fourth such attack on beryllium armored vehicle in the last 3 months. Meanwhile, news out of Florida. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis on Monday signed a bill allowing the death penalty in child rape convictions despite a U.S. Supreme Court ruling that banned capital punishment in such cases. DeSantis, a Republican, also signed 2 other components of his criminal justice legislative package during a ceremony at a policy museum in the city outside Orlando. The legislation, which goes into effect on October 1st, would authorize the state to pursue capital punishment when an adult is convicted of sexually battering a child under 12. Pedophiles are going to have to run from Florida because once caught with an underage is dead, you are go dead. And late last month, DeSantis also signed a bill to end a unanimous jury requirement in death penalty sentencing, allowing capital punishment with jury recommendation of only 8-4 in favor of execution. So no more everybody have to agree for the death penalty, not in Florida. In Jamaica, a 6th person has been charged in connection with a multi-million-dollar fraud at the Institute of Sports and has been placed before the Home Circuit Court. Shireen Farquharson made her first appearance in court yesterday morning. Director of Communications at Mocha, Major Basil Jarrett, confirmed that Ms. Farquharson turned herself in last week in the company of her attorney. Ms. Farquharson and former Financial Controller Andrew Wright, O'Neill Hope, Rodolph Barnes, Unique Mills, and Andrea Picton are accused of defrauding in sports of more than $222 million. And their bail application, which was initially set for May 12, got underway yesterday. The shooting of a man after he allegedly attacked a businessman he accused of being a homosexual has been upgraded to a homicide investigations following his death over the weekend. The incident reportedly happened at Shekels District in Four Parts in Clarendon last week. That is 30-year-old Leon Hall from Sandy Bay in the parish. And it's reported that about 12:45 a.m. last Wednesday, Hall was at a party with a male friend who reportedly went and hugged a businessman who was also a patron at the venue. The police said the businessman, who is also a licensed firearm holder, kissed Hall's friend. Hall immediately began arguing with the businessman, referring to and accusing him of being a homosexual. And it was further reported that Hall pulled a knife, went within striking distance of the businessman, and advanced towards him in a threatening manner. The businessman, the police said, then pulled his licensed firearm and discharged 1 round. The bullet hit Hall in the head and he fell to the ground. Police said a crowd converged upon the businessman, who fled and sought refuge at a relative's home. Police have since seized the licensed firearm and upgraded the investigations from a shooting to a homicide. Anyway, I can tell you that is not what they call homicide. That's stand your ground. A man attack you with a weapon, what should you do? Allow him to kill you? No Sankey, no sing so. 3 teens, including girls aged 14 and 15, were shot and injured in Grange Hill, Morgan's Bridge, Westmoreland on Sunday night. The 3 were reported at home when they were shot, police said. The other injured person was a 19-year-old. Information was that around 10 p.m., all 3 were inside their home when loud explosions were heard, followed by several loud explosions. After the shooting, it was realized that the 3 were suffering from what appeared to be gunshot wounds to the right hand, head, and right leg. They were assisted to hospital, where they were treated and admitted in stable condition. Police later processed the scene and found 11 spent shells. Police have charged a man for last Wednesday's daring daylight killing of a nurse along the Sandy Bay Main Road in Clarendon. He is 40-year-old Christopher Lascaux Smith, a farmer from Rasta Corner in Freetown in the parish. He was charged with murder, possession of a prohibited weapon, and using a prohibited weapon to commit a felony. Simit was charged with the death of Avagae Ellis, 25, a practical nurse from Roswell Road in Sandy Bay. The deceased reportedly named her attacker in a dying declaration to the police at the Maypen Hospital. Police said another man is also being sought in connection with this killing. The police are now probing the murder of a couple at the People's Arcade in Montego Bay in St. James. The deceased are 30-year-old Ricardo Green, a vendor of Glendevon, and 24-year-old Vanessa Hopkins of a St. Anne address. And it's reported that sometime after 8 o'clock on Monday morning, a resident went to a room inside the arcade occupied Mr. Green and discovered him and his common-law wife with their hands and feet bound. They had bullet wounds to the upper body. They were pronounced dead at the Cornwall Regional Hospital. And as the senseless killings continue, gunmen shot up a bar in Portmore yesterday afternoon, killing one person and injuring four others who are now in hospital. Their names have not yet been disclosed. Onto sports NBA, it will be game 2 tonight between the New York Knicks and the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat leads the series 1-0 after a tough 108-101 win in game 1. By all indications, it will be 2-0, but according to predictions and from the pundits, they're saying that the Knicks should win in 6, but we beg to differ and say Miami should win in 4. Onto football, Portmore and Waterhouse played to a 1-all draw, and despite the point, Waterhouse slipped to 7th on 38 points with Portmore United 8th on 37 points. Dunbehold meantime overtook both Waterhouse and Portmore United to grab hold of 6th position on 38 points following a 7-1 hammering of relegated Chapelton Maroons in the feature game of a doubleheader at Ashenheim Stadium. Meanwhile, 5th place Humber Lions on 41 points also played out a 1-all draw with 3rd place Mount Pleasant, who are on 46 points. Tivoli meantime had a massive 5-2 win over Montego Bay United, and last night Cavalier clapped Mullines United 4-2 to stay into 2nd place on 49 points, while Arnett Guards put on a show beating Harborview 3-0 to take over 1st place again with 52 points. And if you ever miss the news on this radio station, please go to YouTube, type in Jamaican Undiluted News, listen, like, share, and subscribe to keep us going. My name is Mikey Bones. I gone.